Hey there, welcome to this video tutorial on how to utilize Onshape whenever you're teaching the Project Lead the Way Introduction to Engineering Design curriculum. In this video, we're just going to take a look at kind of an overview of the Onshape interface, and in the next video, we'll take a look at the first activity of the curriculum, which is 1.2.2 3D solid modeling, doing some basic solid modeling with the construction blocks in the curriculum. Just to get started, Onshape, whenever you have your account, this is going to be your Onshape dashboard anytime that you log in. And here is going to be where we're going to see all of our files. And there's some different things here as well as tutorials and different items that you can work with in order to get started. Probably the first thing to start with is that we have, usually you have a team that is set up here. So in this case, I do have my BHS PLTW team. You have some files that are owned by me. So this starts to look very similar to Google Drive and how you can look at what files are owned by you, and then also ones that are created, what ones are shared with you, what teams you're a part of, and then also like things like your trash, well, anytime you get rid of a file, where those are going to be. And the first place to start is under the Create button. So within Onshape, we end up having Onshape documents. Those are individual files. So kind of like a Word document, Onshape utilizes the same thing there. You have an Onshape document. You have folders that help you keep your files organized. We'll use those throughout the video just to kind of help us with those types of things. You can publish as well. You can import files. You can also import from another service. You can also see what class to be part of, create a class for a lot of the educators. So since I'm a teacher myself, I have an opportunity to create a class. And for this video series, we're kind of doing this more for a demonstration. But if we go ahead and get started, we can always create a folder. And just to kind of show you the Onshape document, is it will kind of have document name. I'll put in an Onshape test as just to show you. It'll have search labels if you wish to put in search labels or have any kind of labels in there. And then you end up having a document location. So it's in the home and it belongs into this team that I have going on. And I'm going to go ahead and select Create. And that's going to load us into the Onshape document. As far as in the Onshape document, the main thing that we have going on is that all Onshape documents will start off with the origin work planes, front, top, and right planes that are shown here on the screen. We will have the browser that's on the left side that keeps track of all of our files. We'll have different parts. You can create various parts inside of one Onshape document or have several. Right now we're in the Part Studio tab, which is where we would create a lot of our parts and build those. And then we have the Assembly. So the Assembly tab will also have where we can take several parts, put them into this Assembly tab, and then start to assemble them together. Across the top in the ribbon, we'll have a lot of the things like undo and redo, as well as the sketch command. You'll notice there are different sections here. So anything that's kind of where you're creating items belongs in this section. And then anything where you're doing any modifications, so rounding corners like with a fillet, or even creating a rib or shelling out, you're doing some modifications, belong in this one. You can kind of see these little gray kind of separations. So this is kind of anything time you're modifying something that's existing. You'll also have some things with patterning here. So these two items are a linear pattern and a mirror. You can also do a little bit with some of the kind of going along with Boolean, split, or transform. These are different items that allow you to perform different operations to solid bodies, as well as getting into some of the things as well as moving faces and fillets and replacing. And then we get into things such as construction geometry. And so a lot of these that we'll be covering as we go along. You'll have the view cube on the right side in the upper right hand corner. We'll use that to navigate. We'll also cover how to navigate and rotate around in a lot of the files, as well as some of the add-ons and everything, the configuration panel that we have, as well as tables and even some library kind of items that you can add. So as far as this goes, there's also, of course, you have your main document name up here. You have the document settings that are all up here. You can rename a document, you can move it, change some of the properties. You can even change some of the units and things like that. Print it, you can close it. This is kind of your main menu here as you kind of take a look. You'll even have some things like versions and history, very similar to Google Docs. You'll have versions and different history with that. You can create new versions, create comments. look at what performance your computer's using, as well as any kind of action items if there's anything that needs to be taken care of that needs to be processed. You also have the option to share. So you can share the document to a teacher or to another student. However, just keep in mind the version histories will keep track of that sharing, and so those are the types of things you want to be aware of. And you'll obviously see your name up here, as well as what account, and even you have the dark mode option if you wish to kind of view this in dark mode. This might be one of the things that we do to kind of help out a little bit. However, I'm going to go ahead and turn this off, so because a lot of the colors and line work, that if you're not in dark mode, you will see some of those different things kind of change. Little notifications up here as well, so it will tell you if you have anything like this. You can see a file I had updated previously, and so it's just giving me a notification of that. When we are done with an Onshape document, either you can close the document by utilizing the menu, or you can always click on the Onshape logo to come back to the main menu. Here you will see there's now my document that is populated, and then you'll actually see up here there's also more of a graphical kind of grid style that's there. You can also share from this, you can send it to the trash, or you can create or add or edit any labels, like if you go to search, which you can always go up here and search for a particular document. In this case, I can always see if the Onshape test document, when I search, there it shows up in my search results. So just a little bit of an introduction to the interface of Onshape, and as you start to use it in Introduction to Engineering Design, just getting more familiar with it. And very similar, like I said, if you're familiar with a lot of Google products, you're going to be very used to this. And as we go forward, we're going to go ahead and practice utilizing a lot of the features within Onshape to be able to do a lot of the 3D modeling that you see in IED.